The Tangled remake and all the hype surrounding it is an orchestrated trap, and we're all falling for it. A lot of people are saying that this new remake will set a new precedent for how remakes are made in the future, that this will be the start of something great. But that's the thing, it will send a new precedent for future remakes. But I'm telling you this, it will not be a good one, and we should all fear the future of films. But there is a solution. And no, it isn't just Disney needs to make more original films, because at this point, it's unrealistic. No, the solution I'm proposing is something that I know can work. An idea that could satisfy literally everybody, including Disney, and it's money-hungry nature. Hello, my name is Sasha Wings, and let's talk about it. Before we even start talking about Tangled, we need to talk about you and me, where we fall into this conversation exactly, because it really matters. There are 3 different groups of people. Group A doesn't want remakes at all. Group B, people who are okay with remakes as long as it's done with accuracy. And then there's Group C, which no one acknowledges because they're not the type to join in on these conversations, but they are very prominent. People who never watched the originals in the first place and don't necessarily care for animated Disney films. It's really important that we understand these groups of people, because that's what Disney is trying to figure out. Remember, the end goal with any film is money. How do you get a film to make lots of money? Expand the target audience so that it caters to as many people as possible. For the longest time, Disney has only gotten Group C to be on board with the remakes. There are quite a few people who just never grew up on Disney. And because there's this idea that animation is reserved for children, these people never look into the films that they ended up missing out on. So when a live-action film is made, it gives this group a reason to go out and watch it. This group is the reason why we will never have a remake that's just changing the animation to make it look, less dated. And as much as it kills me that there are people out there who just refuse to watch animation, it's of course just a preference, so if you are in this group, I forgive you. Kind of. Now, although they are the prominent and supporting group, they are not the majority. The people who are really going out and buying these tickets are Group B. If you are in Group B, you are one of the ones who goes out to watch these remakes hoping for the nostalgia. This group is the reason why remakes have lasted as long as they did, and is the reason why the Tangled remake in particular is so important. But I'll get into that in just a second. Then there's Group A. If you haven't pieced it together, I'm in Group A. I think what infuriates me most about this group is that as much as they love hating on remakes, they never want to go out and watch original Disney movies. Of course, I agree that we shouldn't just promote original movies just because they're original. If they're bad, they're bad. But with that being said, Elemental, Elio, these were good movies and nobody wanted to go watch it. This group, in summary, is a group of people who just gave up, honestly. Now, there's a lot of nuance to these groups. It's not perfect. You can fall into different groups depending on the movie. It's not a perfect system, but it gives us a framework on the type of audiences who go out and watch these movies. Disney realized that they can't just rely on Group C's hype anymore. And Group B is, although still going out and watching these movies, they're coming out disappointed every time. And so they're slowly losing that hope for nostalgia. So with Tangled, they essentially just pulled out the big guns. They are taking a movie so huge and so loved and giving it a perfect director, a perfect cast, perfect leaks. Let's be for real. It's PR. It's just straight up them trying to show us, hey, look, that's Rapunzel's hair. That's her outfit. They are pitching Group B's dream remake right now. And this movie worked. Even before we have even gotten a trailer. I know it worked. This movie will be huge. This movie will be loved. Us over here in Group A can whine all we want, but this movie will be insanely successful. It doesn't even matter how good the quality is. The fact is, their previous movies were so bad that anything they release will be better. Just getting a Rapunzel outfit that looks somewhat decent is getting a lot of praise. And it's like, this is the bare minimum, it's Disney. But the thing is, it's not the bare minimum. We aren't used to it because the previous outfits in these remakes suck. We are reducing our standards to a crazy degree, allowing mediocrity to be mainstream in a time where originality is just so sparse. Here's the thing, I understand the appeal for nostalgia. I really do. But to those who fall under Group B, let me just tell you, this remake is not the solution. It may be at first, you'll watch Tangled in theaters, you'll love it, you'll recommend it to people saying how great it is and how accurate it is. But at the end of the day, months later, when you're gonna watch Tangled for nostalgia, what are you going to put on? The realistic CGI copy or the actual thing that you fell in love with? So what is the solution then? How do we make everybody happy? Because surely those in Group A and Group B can't both win, right? First, right off the gate, we can't just go full original mode. It's just not making enough money, and Disney's not dumb enough to do that. Their IPs are just way too powerful. And like I mentioned before, it has to be live action. Until the weird thing against animation with adults goes away, we have to stick with live action. So my proposal is this. Don't make remakes, make retellings. Retellings are essentially taking an original story and changing some of the core elements and taking creative liberties to create something new. It would be a perfect pivot because we already know that Disney can do it. Because at the end of the day, retellings are the very thing that this company was built off of. We tend to forget that in reality, Disney movies, at least the majority of them, are not really original. Even Tangled. These movies are based off of established fairy tales. And Disney just figured out how to make it their own. And it worked. Unlike some of the amazing Pixar originals that have come out in recent years, most original movies that have come out from Disney, they haven't been that good. In total, other than like Encanto and The Lion King, all other notable Disney films are retellings. There's a reason why Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon and the girl from Wish, I don't even remember her name, are so forgettable. That's just because Disney has never really been good at writing original characters before. This doesn't just apply to like Disney either, but also like Disney Star Wars. To the Star Wars fans watching this right now, let me give you a question, and be honest for a second. Did Disney really ruin Star Wars, or did it ruin the parts of the timeline that haven't been explored yet? Because yes, the Acolyte, something that took place before the rest of the movies and shows, and the sequel movies that took place after all of the events weren't good. But you know what Disney did a good job at? Expanding on parts of the timeline that have already been explored to some capacity. The Mandalorian, Season 7 of Clone Wars, the new Maul show. This is all phenomenal stuff because Disney is good at making films when they have a framework. So in the end, if Disney wants to milk their IPs, go for it. But instead of just doing unnecessary remakes, make retellings of their retellings. And you know what's so funny about this idea? It's already proven to be successful, and Disney has refused to put two and two together. Alice in Wonderland, one of the first notable remakes. But was it really a remake? No matter how much Disney likes to gaslight you into thinking that Alice in Wonderland, the live action, was a remake, it was basically a sequel. How about Maleficent and Cruella? Two movies that completely changed the original by focusing on the villain. Some people didn't like these movies because it made the villain too sympathetic, But honestly, if you look at it through the lens of a retelling, a new universe, then you can appreciate these movies so much more. Like, honestly, Cruella is such an insane movie. The fashion, the editing, it's just so good. Going back to Tangled, though, they could have went into a more darker route with the story. They could have, taken more things from the Grimm's Tale. Or, I don't know, they could have made Eugene the plot twist villain. They could change how Rapunzel's hair works. Maybe take inspo from the show, and instead of her powers being healing, it could be destructive. Maybe she accidentally kills Eugene. I don't know, I'm spitballing here. They could literally adapt their own Twisted Tales books and make it into a live-action movie. Those books are essentially like what-ifs of their classic films. It's perfect. And they've already been doing promo for these books. They've been releasing animation, little like short trailers on their channel. So instead of just releasing small animations, do the full thing in live action. If we continue to overhype this Tangled remake and overall lower our standards, things will become incredibly boring. I was okay with remakes at first, but they've replaced everything. If you think back to the movies you've seen in the past few years, they're probably either sequels or live action remakes. That's terrible. There's definitely a place for remakes, but they shouldn't be the film of the year. Disney, you want money. You want a larger audience. You want people to be hyped about your films again. So just do retelling. But those are just my thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.